Welcome to Family Focus, a TV talk show dedicated to addressing real-life family challenges in the United Kingdom. Over 27 episodes, we'll be exploring some of those really stigma topics within our community. Things like domestic violence, financial struggles, child abuse, bullying, mental health, divorce, social media, and effective parenting. Our mission here is to raise awareness and combat stigma and provide solutions that make a positive impact on the UK families. Join us in a journey of hope and guidance in Family Focus, where we have threads of love and stories of life. Today's episode is focused on the importance of physical activity and how it plays into your well-being and your mental health. So welcome to our special show today about staying healthy. Today we're talking about something very important in our Bangladeshi community. Why is physical activity so crucial? In a world with so many different cultures, it's important to look at the specific health challenges each community faces. Today we're focusing on the Bangladeshi community. We know that exercise and physical activity isn't just a routine, it's a big part of staying healthy overall. Today we're going to be talking about why exercising is so important for the health of our Bangladeshi community. We'll share stories of people being strong, learn from our experts, and give you tips for a healthier lifestyle. Let's start the journey together, working towards a better health and well-being for our Bangladeshi community in the UK. We are thrilled to have today with us Safina Razak, who has joined us today as a guest. Safina currently serves as a Bangladeshi community support worker at King's Cross Brunswick Neighbourhood Association, and that's in Camden. With a vast reservoir of knowledge and experience, Safina brings insights into the health and well-being issues faced by the Bangladeshi community in the UK. She actively coordinates various health-related initiatives in Camden, including mental health and memory workshop, warm welcome space for refugees, community health day event, garden project, barbecue with Age UK, food festival, NHS eye testing service, CAB workshop, which is work on cost of living grants, and many more. Safina's commitment to organising these activities demonstrates her dedication to enhancing the well-being of the Bangladeshi community. We look forward to hearing more about her valuable work and the insights during our discussions today. Hello, Safina. How are you today?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. So I've made a short introduction, but if you've got anything else to add, please tell us a bit about your experiences and your services.
Sure. That would be lovely. So yes, as you just mentioned, I work for a voluntary sector organisation called King's Cross Brunswick Neighbourhood Association, short for KCBNA. I have been working as a Bangladeshi community support worker for over 2 decades now.
Wow.
With the Bangladeshi community. I started in 2002 and it's just been never looking back again.
Oh, that's amazing.
The journey just continued and continued. Okay. So over the years, we have covered a huge areas of work, especially around health, mental health, well-being, for the community. KCBNA, just like to touch on a bit about KCBNA. KCBNA is a voluntary sector organisation which has been serving the community for about, I would say, 45 years now.
Wow.
And it started off very small and then slowly it developed in the sense that we work with the whole community. So we work with the Bangladeshi community, we work with the Chinese community, we work with the Somali community, we work with older people.
Okay.
And then we also have a youth project as well. We run through 3 community centres.
That's quite a vast...
Yeah, so we have 3 community centres. I myself, I'm based at Chadsworth Healthy Living Centre.
Okay.
And yes, I'm sure a lot of my user members are watching me tonight.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, and so we're based at Chadsworth Healthy Living Centre, and that's where my journey started as a community work. I work with women of all ages. I work with older people.
Yep.
as well as older.
So we'll come to some of those discussions throughout our questions.
Sure.
So if I now introduced our second guest today, just to confuse my audience a little bit, she is Amina Khayyam, and a really talented dancer, and she is the boss at AKDC, which stands for Amina Khayyam Dance Company, which is her own company. She started learning Kathak dance in Croydon with Alpana Sengupta and got even better with Susmita Ghosh at the Bhavan in London. Amina has danced in Kathak outfits for more than 1,000 performances throughout her career. She's been on big stages worldwide and also danced in schools, community places, and for charity. 10 years ago, she started her own dance company. And besides dancing, Amina teaches dance and culture at the University of Surrey. Right now, she's teaching in different places throughout her company. And so let's move on to Amina. Hi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
So I did a very brief introduction. Can you tell us a bit more about your services and what you do?
Okay. So we're a dance company set up 10 years ago with a view to kind of create work that reflects my environment right now. As a Kathak artist, Kathak is, you may know, which is a very old traditional dance style, which is a classical dance style from northern India. But within the style, we get taught to do storytelling, and often storytellings are mythological stories of gods and goddesses and all the fun stuff. But I felt as a dancer living in UK, I wanted to speak about my own kind of surrounding, and I didn't feel I could do that if I kind of just danced Kathak, straight Kathak. So hence I set it up the company 10 years ago, where I got involved I started creating a story about my mum, and I needed to do some research, and that's when I went to work with Safina, well, actually just before you joined. And that's where I started working with women group to research the story of the subject that I was going to be making.
Right.
And that continued until...
And how long ago did you say you started dancing?
Well, I've been dancing more than 20 years now, but my company 10 years.
10 years.
Now. Yes.
That's brilliant. Oh, then we can see your passion coming through there then. So, Safina, could you share you've shared some information about KCBNA, but can you kind of share some more information about your role and responsibilities within the organisation?
Sure. So as I said, I've been working as a Bangladeshi community support worker for over 2 decades now. KCBNA, working for KCBNA, our main mission or our statement is to improve quality of life for the community, obviously to tackle inequalities, also look at help support for social exclusion as well, because our community are quite isolated, and bringing them forward and engaging them in health and well-being and education, and improve their quality of life. That's been our main approach, and improving lives is very important, because we know that our Bangladeshi community started migrating in the early 70s. Some say, for example, my father came in the 60s, but they were just single men who actually came at that time. Families actually started migrating in the 70s, but there was nothing there. There was no support for them. But eventually, gradually, Bangladeshi community was one of the deprived communities.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
So, dear viewers, we're going on a very short break. We will be back with some more information about physical health and mental well-being. Please stay with us. Dear viewers, welcome back to Family Focus, where we were talking about healthy lifestyles and why physical exercise or activity is really important, not just for your physical health, but also for your mental health. Now, I've got two guests here. We've got Safina and we've got Amina, and we were talking about the different services that they run and the services that they're involved in. So, Amina, if we come to you, can you tell us more about AKDC? Like, what is it all about?
Okay, AKDC is a dance company, and through dance company, আমরা workshop করি মহিলা মানুষের লগে or general public of a workshop, dance workshop. But mainly, AKDC's work is to work a lot with women from disenfranchised background, poverty, people who don't access arts, particularly high quality arts. And that was our mission, to go and work with women group particularly, mainly really. But also, I remember this term I kept hearing from the kind of Arts Council and funders, is like hard to reach communities. And I used to think, well, Britain is not a jungle that we can reach a community. So that kind of, I took that as a mission to reach those community. And they're really talking about, groups like Bangladeshi, Silati groups who don't integrate or engage with kind of outside world as much as they're more kind of busy being inside and busy being, family members or mom to somebody or a bohu to somebody or something like that. So I just wanted to engage with them, and that was the thing. So there are two strands of AKDC. One is the outreach, which we do countrywide, so we do it internationally. So we have lots of different women groups up in our north, like Birmingham, Manchester, Luton, London, of course, Woking, Leeds, many places like that. We engage with women group. But the main thing is that we continue working with them, so we don't just do one off and engage and then leave them. We go back and they come and see the shows. And what AKDC also very uniquely do is, when we work with the women group, we work with their stories and we take those stories on stage and then we make it into a production.
So you're after like arts or like really involved. So in terms of like our health and the well-being, how does it integrate? Like, how does arts integrate into our physical health, mental health? Zara, gormaze they can't really come out, they can't access the services. Tarare amra kila involve kortam farmo. Plus, at the same time, tarar lagi, why is it important?
It's important because I think amra boli jai movement holo first thing amra kori. But just my feto take, matena, move kore, kick kore, push kore. So it's natural for us to move. But because it naam dance hoye geche, nas hoye geche, ektar naamta kharab hoye geche, for whatever reason, we won't go into that. But movement holo shobta ki best therapy for mental health, physical health, as well as we all know. Whether it is movement dance.
We've got a telephone call. Let's take the call and we'll come back to that. Hello, dear viewer, can you hear us? Hello, you're through to the studio. Can you hear us?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
আমি সফিনা বইন আছো তো তাই সম্বন্ধে একটু আলাপ করতাম চাইতাম আমি কিন্তু চাই হইলাম
জি তাই হুন তাফার আপনি কই তাফারুন
আসসালামু আলাইকুম
আমার নাম সৈয়দ সুরুজনিয়া আর সফিনা বইন ইনো বেঙ্গলি ম্যান প্রজেক্ট কেসিবি তাইনো কাজ করুন বেঙ্গলি ম্যান প্রজেক্টর লগে আর বিশেষ করে তাই লং টাইম এখানে কাম করতে প্রায় 20 ইয়ার্স 20 বছর কিন্তু এরিয়া এটা কেসিবির একটা কমিউনিটি প্রজেক্ট করো
ভাই আপনার কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে নি
জি যে টাইম সম্বন্ধে এই নাম্বারে অনেক উপহার বিশেষ করে এখানে ইনকেস কিং ক্রস এরিয়া অনেক মহিলা বয়স্ক মহিলা হলে সবসময় হেল্প করো আর এখানে যারা বয়স্ক মানুষেরা বেনিফিট হাউজিং রেন্ট ইলা অনেক সমস্যা হয় এগুলা তাই সমাধান করিয়া দেই সেন্টারের মাধ্যমে এলাই তাই দেখে ফোনটা করলাম আপনারা থ্যাংক ইউ তাই টিভি তাইছুন আমরা কিন্তু তাই কিন্তু এরিয়ার পক্ষ তাই আপনারা থ্যাংক ইউ দিলাম আর অত্যন্ত সুন্দর একটা প্রোগ্রাম আপনারা করছেন এলাই ধন্যবাদ
Okay, thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you for your call.
Yeah.
So, sorry, you were saying, so why is it important of physical health and dance and physical activity, basically?
Okay, I think one thing I'll start off with is movement, dance releases a hormone in our body,
Okay.
which is endorphin, which is known as a happy hormone.
Mm-hmm.
So when we dance, when we want to celebrate something, we dance. We go, "Oh," you know, when a child is really happy, you know, she or he spreads her hand
Yeah.
and then just they twirl around.
Yeah.
So it's and skipping, you know, when they skip, when they're walking, running, or whatever. There's always a movement involved, and we forget to do that. And when we do that, we're happier. You know, we celebrate when there's a wedding, we celebrate when there is childbirth, we celebrate. Celebration is always with music or dance. That's always been our tradition, and it's because it makes us feel happy. And I think when we take that away from your life, you're missing. It's part of your life that never gets involved. So when you're sad, when you're in a difficult situation, if you don't have that access to that little happiness, then you can go even deeper down. So I think it's really important. Dance is, it's also very good for dementia as well.
Okay,
It's been known to be one of the most effective physical activities to do is to dance.
Dementia,
Dementia, yeah.
Wow.
It's been
Okay,
proven,
interesting. That's interesting. I didn't
Yeah, no,
know
I
that
mean,
one.
it's more recent research actually come out of that, yeah, yeah.
So, Savina, if we come to you, how can dance forms be integrated into physical activity routines to promote our well-being and the culture?
Sure. Obviously, as Amina has touched, dance is something that is not seen very nicely in our community, but
So, আমরা নাচতে বালা দেখুন না in the Bangla community.
যদি আমরা ডাইরেক্ট হই নাচ
Yeah.
then এটা বালা দেখায় না but there are both তরিকা আছে আমরা এটারে ইনভলভ করার লাগে so for example যেটা আমরা এভরি প্রত্যেক মঙ্গলবারে আমরা উইমেন এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাস চালাইন চাজওয়া হেলথি লিভিং সেন্টারও সো আমার দুইটা গ্রুপ আছে একটা হলো ইয়াঙ্গার উইমেনর 1 ঘন্টার লাগি ক্লাস and immediately the older people 50+ গ্রুপ তারা 1 ঘন্টার লাগি করে সো আমরা টোটাল 2 ঘন্টার এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাস হয় each class আমার 15 জনের উপরে মহিলারা যারা এক্সারসাইজ করে very dedicated very committed very on time কোনো অসুবিধা নাই yeah but at the end আস্তে আস্তে কি হইছে এক্সারসাইজ করার মানে হইলো যে আমরা মহিলারা বেশিরভাগ আমরা সাফার করি ব্যাক পেইন aches and pains neck pain এগুলা আমরা অনেক সাফার করি leg knee pain so এগুলা ইমপ্রুভ করার লাগি তারাও নিজে উৎসাহ হইয়া আইন যে একটু এক্সারসাইজ করলে বিষ বেদনাটা কমবো না বাট তারা এত ডেডিকেটেড এভরি উইক আইন আমার বাদে আস্তে আস্তে এসে আমি নাই কিতা করছেন তাই তুরি হরিয়া ডান্স ইয়েটা ইনভলভ করছেন এট দি এন্ড অফ দ্য এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাস যেমন আমরা কিছু দামাইলর স্টেপ হল আছে আর আমরা সব মহিলারা very happy তারা খুব পছন্দ করেন এগুলা জিনিসটা সো দুই একটা স্টেপ আমি না তারার লগে করেন and তারা খুব এনজয় করেন এগুলা because again childhood memories আইও তারা ইয়াং থাকতে বিয়ার আগে তারা দেশ
সবর ভিতরে একটা জোয়া আছে লাইক দা হ্যাপি ফিলিং নাস্তা সাইন জোতা খেও শর্মাইয়া করেন না খেও মানছে কিতা কইলিবা ওখান চিন্তা করিয়া করেন না you know so in that environment এটা তো just women's only তারা আর খেও নাই কুচু ফিল্মিং করার না কোনো জোর না so they fully in the environment
and obviously আমরা যে কমিউনিটি সেন্টারটা আছে এটাও একটা সেফ এনভায়রনমেন্ট তারা লাগিয়া আমরা ইনশিওর করি যে ইটস a safe environment এই সময় আমরা লাইক কোনো বেটা মানুষেরও ঢুকতে দেই না বিকজ আমরা হই যে না এখন মহিলারা এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাস চলে and তারা এটা রেসপেক্ট করেন অসুবিধা নাই and this has been going on for such a long time and এটা এমন একটা সেশন আমরা মানে এত ওয়েল এস্টাবলিশড হইছে যে you know, if community যদি এটা পাইতা না, then আরো sad থাকলা
আর I suppose তারা যারা মহিলা যারা আইরা তারার মাঝেও একটা friendship group হয়ে যায়, you know, different people from different background এখানে হইলা
এখানে আইয়া তারা অনেক মানুষে মহিলারা তারা friends বানাইছেন, and এগুলা friends যখন lifetime friends হয়ে গেছেন.
We've got a caller on the line. Let's take the call. Hello, dear caller, can you hear us?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
আমি জানতাম চাইলাম যে আপনারা যে এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাসের কথা মাত্রা এই ক্লাসটা কোন এরিয়াত করায়?
King's Cross. আপনি উনটা পারছেন না? It's in King's Cross.
এটা লন্ডনের ভিতরে ওটা ওয়েস্ট লন্ডনের ভিতরে
জি না, go to East London না, এটা for Central London, King's Cross হয়
King's Cross আমরা যাওয়া সম্ভব না, সরি আছি।
বা আপনারা ইন্টারেস্ট থাকলে অফ কোর্স আপনারা সব এখানে ইয়া ইস্ট লন্ডন দেখো কিছু ফাইননি
তা হইতে হইতে বাকা মানুষও লাগে, সময়ও লাগে, হইতে নিয়ে আমার এখন মাসে তো আমি দৌড়তামও পারতাম না, কেউ কইতামও পারতাম।
Okay.
দোয়া করুন যেন।
No, আমি নাও আসুন তাই হুন্ডা, so maybe আমরা মাথাত আসলাম আগে যে maybe আমরা ইস্ট লন্ডন or that we should look into something.
Actually, I'm class. East London Mulberry School জানে স্কুলের মধ্যে
Mulberry School, and of course sorry I think আমরা কাউন্সিলর যারা আছেন তারার লগেও যদি আপনারা মাতইন যে আপনারা ও একটা অ্যাক্টিভিটির লাগি ইন্টারেস্ট আছে, তারা ফান্ডিংও দিতে পারবো, প্লাস তারা মানুষকেও দিতে পারবো, and একটা জিনিস আমরা ইস্ট লন্ডনের লাগে I think we do need to find something. I think there will be an interest in East London.
আপনার নাম্বার তুই যে বাজে তো মাইনহরনতে আমি কন্টাক্ট করতাম পারমু আপনারে, আর যদি কিছু ইস্ট লন্ডনে কিছু ক্লাস করতাম পারিতে আমরা চেষ্টা করব না আপনারা ইনভাইট করবার লাগে না।
Oh, that's amazing. So Amina, coming back to you, so your background is in Kathak dancing.
That's right.
How do you see the role of dance in addressing specific health challenges in the Bangladeshi community? So আমরা Bangladeshi community মাঝে আমরা specific health mostly is diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, all these things, high blood pressure. Ekta dancing or through there, how can we face these challenges and help people?
both মানুষের help হইছে dance আমার ক্লাস তাকিয়া, because first of all যত প্রবলেম আছে বডির মধ্যে একটা আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করা লাগে কিতা লাগে এই প্রবলেম, ডায়াবেটিস কিতা লাগে আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করা লাগে, হার্ট ডিজিজ আর কিতা হইলা যেন পেইনস এন্ড এক্স এটা আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করা লাগে কিতা লাগে কিটা হয়। আর আমার ক্লাস খালি শুধু মুভমেন্ট না, অলসো আমি ডিসকাশন বেসড আছে যেন about food, about how to look after, you know, when to eat, what to eat, lots of information like that. So we have good laugh in the classes. You know,
okay, nice.
And I think one of the things that I also been learning as I go along is that a lot of aches and pains are in the mind. Because they always say to me, oh, I'm to suturi bednainor mide doctor kisi kichu hoy na kichu fana to kaya operation hore kita hore everything but kichu kono solution nai. Then I realized actually there is no problem, it's all in the head. And it's a lot to do with isolation. These women are isolated, lot to do with loneliness, lot to do with bad habit of eating, not resting, and not giving themselves time. সব খালি অন্যজনের লাগি, বাচ্চার লাগি, জামাইর লাগি, হরির লাগি, ফ্যামিলির লাগি, nothing is for herself. And one of the things I also discovered is that আমরা Bangladesh Sileti community মধ্যে there is no sense of individuality. Like আমি খেয়ে, if you say আমি খেয়ে, ও আমি তো আমার মা, আমি বললাম কি তার স্বামী, বউ কিংবা তার ডটার, কোনো সময় না জানে
নিজের আইডেন্টিটি
নিজে এটা নাই। And I think that's the key thing missing in our community is not having me, who am I? And I think that's what I'm doing with through movement as well, is to discover themselves. So I do workshop where I do a task based like that, about talk about you, who are you? What's your dream?
What's your dream? We've got another caller online. Hello caller, can you hear us?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Who's calling?
Salima. Hi, Safina. Hi, Amina.
Hi. Assalamu alaikum, Salima.
Hi. I'd just like to mention that I'm one of the attendees to the exercise groups. So I wouldn't say I'm new now, but I was new in the area and I really didn't know many people. And I've got special needs children as well. And typical Bengali, I was scared how people will judge me. So I really didn't go out that much. But Alhamdulillah, I got introduced to Safina. And that's when I started joining the group. And I have to say, it was, I really don't know how to describe it. It was wonderful. I met new people in the community. I'm confident now. I go out, like even Tesco's and stuff. I know people from the community, which is something I didn't really do before because I was so scared, especially of judgment of people.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really nice to hear.
She's one of our new members, and then I think মোটামুটি এখন comfortable হয়ে গেছেন আমরা এখানে।
Okay.
And this is also একটা part আছে আমরা যারা যারা আমরা গেছে আইন তারা comfortable হরা, you know, like তারা scared feel হতা না, তারা feel হতা না যে just because maybe আমি একটু স্বাস্থ্য আছে বা আমার অন্য ধরনের disability আছে বা আমার mental health issues আছে, এটার লাগি মানুষ আমারে।
But she was saying she's got children with special needs, and
yes.
how that's affected her confidence, and coming to you guys, she's found her confidence again. That's amazing. That's really nice to hear the user's end of the feedback, of course. So in this nicely, you know, continues on to our next question, which is how do you encourage Bangladeshi women to embrace dance as a form of physical activity?
I think it's encouraging them to come to the exercise class.
So আমরা বাঙালি বেটিনতরে especially encourage করা কিলা
যে আপনারা আউকা এক্সারসাইজ আউকা because এটা দরকার আছে, জরুরি আছে। again it's that me time ও যে আমি না হইছেন এটা হলো তারা টাইম, একটা ঘন্টা তারা নিজরে টাইম দেরা। so তারা আইরা এক্সারসাইজ হড্ডা, তারা এনজয় হড্ডা, health benefit or তারা mental health improve or plus তারা নয়া friends বানাইরা, plus tara janta পারেন যে আমরা সেন্টার আর কি তাইতা করতাম।
Of course you have other services
because আমরা অন্য সার্ভিস আছে, যেমন আমরা ইংলিশ ক্লাস আছে, আমরা লাঞ্চ ক্লাব আছে, আমরা also like summer time আমরা ডে ট্রিপস করি।
right
আখতাখতা আমরা ওয়ান অফ সেশনস করি, যেমন ডিমেনশিয়ার উপরে, অথবা লাইক রিসেন্টলি আমরা সিটিজেন অ্যাডভাইস ব্যুরো আইছেন, ওই যে এখন বর্তমানে যে কস্ট অফ লিভিং এর একটা ক্রাইসিস চলে, এটার লাগে আমরা কিলা সাপোর্ট দিতাম পারতাম, গ্রান্টও লাগে কিলা অ্যাপ্লাই হতাম, বিকজ আমরা জেনারেল অ্যাডভাইসও করি। সো থ্রু এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাস দেন আমরা মহিলারা হলো জানতে পারছেন যে আমরা অ্যাকচুয়ালি একটা, বিকজ আমরা একটা হেলথি লিভিং সেন্টার, আমরা একটা জিমও আছে, ছোট্ট বেশি বড় নয়, ছোট্টখাট্ট একটা কমিউনিটি জিম আছে। অ্যান্ড I have to say quite a good number of Bangladeshi women tara sign up hodda amra gym-o and tara aira regularly exercise horar lagi.
Because আমরা বাঙালির মাঝে তো একটা জয় আছে, I understand that dance একটা physical activity, এগুলোর মাঝে there's nothing wrong with it, but যেমনে তারা আমি dance ক্লাসও যাই, আর you know there's a stigma that বুড়ো ইয়াথাই নাসিরা
ফয়লা জামাই হলে স্টপ হইলে বা জামাই হলে স্টপ হইলে জানা না তো যাইবার দরকার নাই,
ইনো জ্ঞান নাসি করতে না গরো নাসো।
জি but it you know dance is again exercise is dance. And dance is exercise.
But when you see other people doing the same thing as you, and you find that group
there's no shame,
is different.
And it also
you can motivate each other.
I'm comfortable hori tara je apnar bai dekho saira na, don't worry, because teacher asoin ami na asoin tain eta manage korba, ami taki but I mean like a caretaker. I'm sitting there watching that everybody's comfortable.
I think also from my perspective, Safina, the fact that when our community think about dance, they think dance is somebody else doing it, not our community, you know, not like that. So when they see me do it, and I speak in Silati with them, and so there is a sense of, okay, so we can do this then, you know. So there is a trust in kind of built with that. And the other thing is that when they do it, they realize how much they express themselves. It's all about, dance is all about self-expression, you know, expressed through. Also, when you're dancing, you touch your emotion.
Of course.
And when you touch your emotion, then things can come out, whether it's good or bad. You know, and then you feel the benefit, you feel the release of that. And I think they clued into that as well, even if they don't articulate it.
We've got another call online. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Who's calling?
জি আমি কেনজিস্টন ফোন করছি আমি এফা জানতাম যে অনেক হয়েছিল যে আপনার ইংলিশ ক্লাস করাই এটা কোন দিন করান কইবানি
জি আমরা মঙ্গলবারে ইংলিশ ক্লাস হয় আমরা দুইটা ক্লাস আছে একটা হলো আপনার ইংলিশ ক্লাস উইথ এমপ্লয়েবিলিটি সো ইয়াং মহিলারা যারা আস্তে আস্তে খামতুকাইরা তারা স্কিল ইমপ্রুভ করিয়া তারা খামো লাগানি and second class হইলো আপনার entry level 1 so এটা একটু বেসিক লেভেল বাট ওটাতে কি আস্তে আস্তে ইমপ্রুভ করিয়া তারা নেক্সট ক্লাসে যাইতে পারবা বাট
এটা সবল লাগে
একটু এটা এন্ট্রি লেভেল It's again Tuesday afternoon, মঙ্গলবারে afternoon হয় বইন সো আপনি আমার যোগাযোগ করলে দেড়টাতে 3:30 পর্যন্ত জি জি
আর এটা মানে যারা ইংলিশ জানরা না ইংলিশ শিখতেছে তারা
জি তারা লাগে পারফেক্ট জি এরা লাগে পারফেক্ট
আর কিং ক্রস কোন নকর আপনার সেন্টারের নাম কি তো
জি আমার সেন্টারের নাম হলো আপনার ছাজবা হেলথি লিভিং সেন্টার আপনি ক্রোমা স্ট্রিট চিনেননি
জি ক্রোমা স্ট্রিট চিনি আমি কেনজিস্টন থাকি
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে সো ক্রোমা স্ট্রিট আইলে আপনি যে কোনো মানুষের যে কেলো আপনারা লই আইবা আমরা সেন্টারও
আমি ওটা জানতে চাইছিলাম বিকজ আমি ইংলিশ ক্লাস তো করাম আমার যেটা আরবি ক্লাস থাকে সকালে
জি
জানতাম যে সকালে টাইম কয়টা
জি প্লিজ আমরা যোগাযোগ করুন যেন কোনো অসুবিধা নাই ক্রোমা স্ট্রিট থেকে ও ক্রোমা স্ট্রিটের সামনে যে রাস্তা হ্যারিসন স্ট্রিট ওটা অন্য আমরা সেন্টার বেস সো একটা কাউন্সিল বিল্ডিং আছে ছাজওয়াল ওটা বেসমেন্টও আমরা
ওকে নাম কি তা কইছেন আপা
আমার নাম নি
আপনার নাম
জি আমার নাম সফিনা
আর আপনার সেন্টারের নাম
ছাজওয়া হেলথি লিভিং সেন্টার
ওকে থ্যাংক ইউ
থ্যাংক ইউ আসসালামু আলাইকুম
That's amazing. So if we come back to sort of, we've got 2 minutes before we go on a break. So some of the obstacles that Bangladeshi women face. So kun karone tara class attend korte parra na or challenges kita
challenges both challenges আছে and I think আগেও আছিল এখনো আছে obviously number 1 হলো family আমরা লাগি মহিলা হলো লাগি important হলো family so আমরা family সবটা ঠিক থাকতে হইব আমরা রান্না বাড়া হাজব্যান্ড চিলড্রেন এখন তো নেক্সট জেনারেশন আইছে নাতি নাতলো আইছে বাট I think over the years আমরা হামর মাঝে আমরা অটো লাইক মেসেজ দিছি বা অটো আমরা মহিলা হলডে শিখাইছি যে আপনার নিজের লাগি টাইম বার করতে হইবা সবটা ঠিক আছে বাট আউট অফ 24 আওয়ার্স আপনি আপনার নিজের লাগি 1 ঘন্টা বা 2 ঘন্টা আপনার নিজের লাগি আপনি টাইম বার করতে হইবা বিকজ আপনার হেলথ ভালো থাকতে হইব আপনার মেন্টাল হেলথ ভালো থাকতে হইব and হ্যাঁ যদি আপনি ইংলিশ হন শিখতে চান দেন ইয়েস আপনি এখন ইংলিশও শিখতে হইবা এখন বহুত জিনিস আছে অনলাইন গেছে কি এখন মোবাইলের মাধ্যমে সপ্তাহ করা লাগে আমরা ওসো ডিজিটাল ট্রেনিং ও এগুলো প্রোভাইড করি কিলাও WhatsApp করা এরপরে ইমেল করা and stuff like এগুলো আমরা সাপোর্ট করি
ইংলিশ থাকলে না থাকলে WhatsApp তো ইউজ করে আমরা জানি
yes but অনেক মেম্বার হল আমরা এটা শেখানি লাগছে so obviously আমার টিমও আমরা দুইজন আছে
Dear viewers, please stay with us. We'll continue our discussions. We're going on a very short break and we will be back shortly. Please stay with us. Dear viewers, welcome back to Family Focus, where today's topic is about physical activity and how it's linked to your mental health. So আমরা মাতাতাসলাম with Safina about the challenges যে আমরা মহিলা যারা আছেন তারা যে একটা activity, physical activity যাইতে হইলে তারার কিতা কিতা challenges আছে. So you slightly touched on that. Can you give us more details?
Sure. Yeah, যেটা আমি হওয়াত আসলাম যে yes challenges আছে আমরা মহিলা হলোর মাঝে because যেটা হইছে যে তারা ফ্যামিলির আগে ইম্পর্টেন্স দিতে হইবা টাইম দিতে হইবা through our community work আমি একটা জিনিস ওটা করছি যে তারা রিয়েলাইজ করাইছি যে আপনার নিজের লাগে একটু টাইম বার করোকা এটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট আপনি যদি সুস্থ না থাকেন তা আপনি বাকি ফ্যামিলির কিলা লুক আফটার করবা সো ওটার লাগিয়া আস্তে আস্তে তারা এটা বুঝতে পারছেন অ্যান্ড আস্তে আস্তে ওই যে আমরা এক্সারসাইজ ক্লাস বা ইংলিশ ক্লাস বা অন্য যে ওয়ার্কশপসগুলো আমরা করি হেলথ রিলেটেড বা হেলথ কমিউনিটি ইভেন্টস করি আমরা ওসো বাংলাদেশ ক্যামডেন মেলাও আছে যেটা আমরা বছরে একবার হোল্ড করি অ্যান্ড সব সারা ফ্যামিলি লুক ফরওয়ার্ড করেন এটা আওয়া সো এইগুলা জিনিস আস্তে আস্তে তারা নিজরে একটু টাইম দেওয়া শুরু করছেন অ্যান্ড দেন ব্যালেন্স করছেন বাকি ফ্যামিলিরে নাও আলহামদুলিল্লাহ যারা আমরা সেন্টার হইন ইজ পার্ট অফ দেয়ার লাইফ না সো তারা কিতা করেন যে সে ফর এক্সাম্পল মঙ্গলবারে তারা অ্যাক্টিভিটিস আছে তারা আগর দিন তারা খাম হুম গুছাই লাইন রান্না বাড়া শেষ হই লাইন যে যাতে মঙ্গলবারে তারা আরামসে তারা অ্যাক্টিভিটি করতে পারেন অ্যান্ড অনেক আসেন যেমন আপনি জানবা যে সিন্স আফটার কোভিড যাওয়া বাদে আমরা ওসো ওয়ার্ম ওয়েলকাম স্পেসও প্রোভাইড করতাম বিকজ আমরা এখন বর্তমানে গ্যাস বিল ইলেকট্রিসিটি বিল এগুলো অনেক বাড়ি গেছে সো লেট আফটারনুন আমরা ওয়ার্ম ওয়েলকাম স্পেসও প্রোভাইড করি সেন্টারও সো চা কফি আছে অ্যান্ড যারা মহিলারা in a nice warm place বইতা চাইন একটু গল্প করতে চাইন তারা এক্সপিরিয়েন্স শেষ করতে চাইন জাস্ট হাসি খুশি করতে চাইন এই স্পেসটা তারা দেওয়া হয়েছে and yes so গড় যদি মোটামুটি একটা সেটিংও থাকে দেন তারা এই টাইমটা তারা দিতে পারবে and again এটা নিজের লাগিয়া
so যারা ফ্যামিলির আসেন they should also encourage that and help them out they okay every Tuesday যাইবা একটা ক্লাসের মাঝে আমি আজকে তোরা হেল্প করিলাই like should we have those conversations with our families as well যে আমরা ফ্যামিলির মাঝেও একজনে আরেকজনের হেল্প করতে
জি এটা অবশ্যই জরুরি আছে জি but I think over the years যে মহিলারা আইন I think তারা গড়র মানুষের জানোই নখন যে ও আম্মা গেছেন গিয়া এক্সারসাইজও অথবা আমার ওয়াইফ গেছেন গিয়া সেন্টারও আজকে ঠিক আছে একটু বাদে আইবা সো এই আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিংটা কিছু আছে এখন তারপরেও ডিফিকাল্টিজ আছে বিকজ আমরা মেহমান মুসাফির আইন এরপর আমরা হসপিটাল অ্যাপয়েন্টমেন্টস থাকে জিপি অ্যাপয়েন্টমেন্টস সামটাইমস ক্লাস মিসও হয় বাট দে সো গুড ইন দ্য সেন্স নাও যে আগেবারই জানাই দিবা মেসেজ দেওয়া এখন তো হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ আছে সো আগেবারই জানা সরি আফা আজকে আইতাম পারতাম না বিকজ আমার একটা অ্যাপয়েন্টমেন্ট সো এটাও ইম্প্রুভ হয়েছে টাইম কিপিংটা আমরা কমিউনিটির মাঝে especially আমার গ্রুপের মাঝে এটা ইমপ্রুভ হইছে আমরা এটা
but also communication করা with you through WhatsApp that আমি আইতাম পারলাম না that's teaching them something else that of next course. Time আমার আর একটা অ্যাপয়েন্টমেন্ট থাকলে আমি মাঝে জানাইতে হইব like it's setting that kind of culture within them isn't it that I have to let people know
exactly
communication of
even with English classes as well I set boundaries like look if you can't come because these are slightly younger ladies so তারা young children আসেন we understand বাচ্চান বেমার পড়ে যায় বা স্কুলে একটা প্রবলেম হয়ে গেছে but lots of then please আমরা জানাই দিও so তারা very nice তারা voice message সারি দেন and text message দিলেন so a communication টা is very good so that আমরা জানি আর what's happening and then yes this is how we will learn different skills as well and হ্যাঁ আমরা অলসো আমরা লোকাল মহিলা হলডে এনকারেজ করি যে আপনারা ভলেন্টিয়ারিং করোকা এটাও আপনার সেলফ কনফিডেন্স বাড়বো আপনার সেলফ এস্টিম বাড়বো and alhamdulillah a lot of women do that তারা অনেক voluntary time দেন আমরা community as well.
This brings me nicely onto a conversation that we had before the show. So when you started out in your dance journey, sorry, we'll come back to it. We've got a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi, who's calling?
I would like to speak. Sorry, my name is Zohaib Nazar. I would like to speak to Safina Razak, please.
Yes, she can hear you.
Hey,
Go for it.
Assalamu alaikum, Zohaib.
Walaikum salam. And also, I'm English Bangla Janina, so if it's okay, I could speak in English.
So can I? Sorry,
That's fine.
I'll introduce. Zohaib is my niece's husband, and he's Pakistani. And it's so kind of you to call Zohaib. Any questions?
I do not have any question. I'm just calling to appreciate the work you guys are doing. I have been to your center, and I see the work you carry out over there is commendable. Because I know you personally as well, so I have seen you going extra mile above and beyond your responsibilities. So yeah, just keep it up. That's the whole reason for this call.
Oh, thank you. And tell Al-Miss Samir that exercise is very important. My grandchildren.
Thank you for your call, and thank you for the support and the encouragement, especially in this day and age where people are very stingy with the support and encouragement is needed. Thank you so much for your call. So Amina, going back to you, how, some of the challenges that you might have faced. So after dance classes, it's kind of related to what Safina was saying in the sense that the barriers, the stigma with the whole thing. Tell us a bit about that journey.
Well, actually, I didn't tell anybody I was learning dancing for a long time. And I have to share this with you, which is quite important. 9 years into me training, I did my Rangmanch Pravesh, which is traditionally in Kathak, when you do your training, you do a debut performance on stage.
Wow.
So you do your kind of start. I mean, it's not necessarily you finished training, but it's just something that you share with an audience. And I remember the date I selected was a year ahead, and it was at South Bank Centre in Waterloo. And it just ended up in Ramadan.
Oh no.
I didn't foresee this. And there was only one person that was very important that I wanted to come to the show. It was my mum.
Oh.
And I just thought, she's not going to come. It's Ramadan. How am I going to persuade her to come? And I can't cancel it. And it's too late. But I mean, we got house full audience. But
So after the performance, after most important, after Amma Takhta. Ramadan for
Oh. And evening also. So obviously it's after. It was in December, so Ramadan would have finished by 4:30 or whatever it was. But I was so worried that she won't come, and I didn't know what to do. And it was lots of people involved, 7, 8 people involved. I can't just cancel it just because my mom can't come. I persuaded my mom to come.
Oh wow!
And she did come, and she saw me for the first time on stage. And I had to do it because she doesn't speak English, so I said something to her in Bangla on stage, and I think it just blew everybody away in terms of they didn't understand what I was saying. Most of the audience didn't speak Bangla. They just emotionally got touched by that. And then at the interval, in fact, my mum stole this whole show from me. She basically became the celebrity on that day. Aww. Everybody wanted to know who is the mom we want to see. So there were obstacles, but I think for my immediate family, like my sisters and my mom, although my mom still thinks, when am I going to get a real job? She still tells me that. But I had lots of support from my siblings. They always came to see me perform whenever I did performances. And supported me.
But support for your whole perspective and the way that you now, perform must be so much better now. Like support us as agat. Support na takhle. How would it have been?
I think to be honest, because I grew up in Surrey, away from my community, it just ended up in that way. We never grew up with the Bangladeshi community, living within this community. And I think it was easier for me to just do what I wanted to do. So I was able to hide myself from them. And in fact, to this day, I don't think a lot of my relatives knows I dance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm here now. Who knows, they might be watching me
they're probably watching you now. Now they definitely know.
But I don't have any issues saying this because I know inside of me what it gives me, and I know what I can give back to the community, which I do through my work with women across the country. and that is enough. And also it's also about storytelling. We give voices to these women. We empower these women. We tell their story on stage and then ask them to come and see it, and they do come and see it. And it's challenging to bring them out in the evening after 7:30 show. As you know, it's very.
And problem.
My user member hold a loyagat performance the high and they were mesmerized. They are really happy since wow. They are, but also like to say a big thank you to Amina because I think we've been very fortunate to have a Bengali speaking exercise tutor,
that's worked to your advantage.
I think so, because I was one of them, as I said earlier. It's not something they can't touch, they can't reach, because that's also one of the notions with us is that we are not good enough, we can't achieve this, because there is a inferiority syndrome within our community, and I think it's to do with the whole India, Pakistan, all of that history. And I think that helped, and I was able to communicate with them in Bangla, in Sylheti, and also I speak Hindi, Urdu, and English, all of that. So it kind of works out, and some other Punjabi, a little bit of that, a little bit of Gujarati. So whenever I meet different communities, I'm able to communicate with them in different languages.
So do you think like dance loge ekta stigma ase, ekta shorom ase je dance khorilita ekta
100% ase ekta, of course ase
abo ase
hono ase. This is why, as we were talking in break, that I don't have a single Bangladeshi students. Not a single one. Sylheti particularly. There are Dhaka people do it, but particularly Sylheti, they don't join at all dance. And I think it's a shame, because I think you don't have to become a professional. You
don't have to be performing. The mancho shamne je ami performance kortam hoibo, but it's more for
but
you.
But it teach you about humanity, teach you about connecting to other human beings, empathy, love. All of that it teaches you.
It's a form of art and discipline, isn't it?
It's a discipline. It's a lifelong discipline, because as I've been training, I'm still training. I still do my practice every day.
Oh wow!
And when we're rehearsing, we do a practice first to start with as a group, connecting, and then we go into the rehearsals. So
It's basically shorom. That's why.
It's more than a bit as well. I think there is a lot of bad kind of names been given to dance and dancers and previously and all that, and I think that's just stuck really. I think.
Okay. Yeah. So we've got some work to do around that. For sure. So Safina, so amra jara mohila achen je tara ekটু encouragement lage to engage in dance or physical activity. What approaches do you use with our Bengali communities? Amra Bangla community maje jara asoin tarare kila amra mohila
I think amar lagi I'm buchi apnar question. So I think because I'm a long time dhori KCB lagi ham hoddam in the community shobe ekটু জানা হয়ে গেছে আমার ব্যাপারে. So jara noya aira, obviously tara aira through a friend or a neighbor or somebody in the area. So recommendation or ufre tara aira. Otoba tara notun area move hoisoin. And again tara hunchoin the ohana ekta community center ase ar ohana sofina hori ason asoin. So itai gya manushre encourage hore je let's go and check out what's happening there. And then once they come in and tara zohon amra setting by environment ta dehoin tara like comfortable oizain. Zaman recently amra exercise class o 2-3 jon notun mohilara aya join hoisoin. So tara holban site te ki aisoin. So I think tara hunchoin ageo man amra center o biafare, but sometimes you come to that stage of life where I need to go and do some exercise now, and I think that's what's happened with some of the new members. And zohon tara aisoin tara very nicely tara settle hoigesoin, and amra tarare like warmth dia tarare relax horailesi. So look, after comfortable, comfortable ase, safe ase. Kunu khota bara jaito na ba eta kichu na shob asoin friendly asoin, and you be looked after, because I myself I'm there, and egula jinish ami observe for
so monitor. So beshi manusha in free word of mouth or recommendation,
because Bengali community to azon gesta ki janoin and ein amar arazon colleague asoin Taslima taino amar loge ham horoin, and taino dudin center করেন and তাইনো লোকাল মানুষ so because তাইন locally based আস্তে আস্তে সব কমিউনিটি তান্ডেও জানি লাইছেন চিনি লাইছেন so কোনো questions তাহলে বা কিছু জিকাইবার তাহলে তান্ডেও approach করা হয় এখন but তাইন non সিলেটি তাইন বাড়ি হলো কুমিল্লার so আস্তা কিংস ক্রসের মাঝে maybe তাইনো আসেন এখন খালি কুমিল্লার but তাইন সিলেটি মানুষের লগে অনেক মিশি গেছেন সব তো আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করেন যে আমরা ট্রেডিশনালি আমরা চলাফেরা এক লাখান আর নন সিলেটি আর অন্য লাখান হইতে পারে বাট এগুলা সব তাইন অ্যাডাপ্ট করে লাইছেন শিখি লাইছেন অ্যান্ড আমার কিছু ভলান্টিয়ার্সও আছেন সো ইটস এ টিম ওয়ার্ক আমরা কমপ্লিট টিম ওয়ার্ক অ্যান্ড আমরা এখানেও সবরে কমফর্টেবল ফিল করা ইন দ্য সেন্স দা আমরা চা নাস্তা আছে ইউনো কেউ ফিল করতে নাই যে ও জাস্ট আইলাম আর গেলাম না আপনারা স্পেস যত সময় বইতা চাইন বউকা কোনো সমস্যা তাহলে ঠিক আছে আমরা আলাদা রুমও আছে ওখানে গিয়া আমরা হতাও হইতাম পারি তার লগে could be mental health related could be you know domestic violence related bachchar সমস্যা হইতে পারে you know
so there's other services that feed into this
it feeds in so একটা লাগি আইলা কিন্তু এসে দেখা যায় তারা আস্তে আস্তে বিভিন্ন সার্ভিসও তারা জড়িত হয়ে গেল
interesting so Amina in your experience or you know if you've got a story to tell us how has dance positively impacted one's mental health and within the Bangladeshi community? Have you got a story to tell us maybe? Is there someone
I remember years ago when I first started doing this kind of workshops, I remember going in thinking, I've been told don't say dance. You know, don't say it's a dance class. And because, you know, Kathak is also storytelling. It's a storytelling form. And end of the day, whatever we do with our body, we are telling stories. And so I went with storytelling and I went with big dag hawa gorobana heli agasi so the entire sorba lagya and
the gorbite kita banaya ni
hawa I think couscous kichu ase
okay
that is easy shop থেকে যেটা বানানি tasty was বানাইলি গেছলাম and we sat around and kheu matta serena kheu very quietly because we started with talking first let's talk and কিছু মাত্রা না আর একজন মাথা শুরু হয়ে যান and then before I know it tears khanda because I allow them in a safe space to talk about themselves and then nobody asked them about you know how what they're feeling and I remember ever since then there's no stopping them to talk. They want to talk now. They want to share, and it was quiet, like nobody's talking.
Because tara lagi ekta safe environment hoyi gise je ina matam parno trust ase inta ki ar kuna no jaito nai.
And I think one of the rule we also said that it is a habit with Silati Bangladeshi is like তোমার কইতে কি গো তোমার মা কোন না থেকে তোমার বাপর গাও না ওটা মাছ শুরু হয়ে যায় so I remember we set the boundaries like আমার especially me outsider নতুন আইছি you know the group leader was okay খেউ জিকাইতে না তান্ডে তান মা খে বাপ খে কোন বাড়িতে গেছুন কোন জগন্নাথ থেকে এইজন
খাল কুটুম খে
and exactly and বিয়ে গেছনি বাচ্চা আসনি ওটা and that set the tone. And I think ever since then, I always maintain that tone. I said, okay, this is not about who I am and where I come from. This is about what do you see when you see me first. Take me for me, not for where I come from, who my father is. Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
And that was important for me. And that same group, and then of course, it was a 10-week session I did with them. And then I started dancing with them as well.
Amazing.
And then I remember I never used the word dance, but when I went back there 4 years later to the same group, one woman said, Amina, do you remember you taught me this? And she started showing me some movement. And I thought, but I never said it was dance. So why are you saying it's dance?
We have a caller online. Hi, caller. Can you hear us?
Hello, assalamu alaikum, Afa. Ami Tofiqul Alam Quraish Bangli থেকে শুনতেছেন Afa?
Sorry?
Hello, আমি শফিকুল আলম কুরাইশ আপনারা শুনতেছেন আমার কথা
you're through to the studio আপনি হোকা
থ্যাংক ইউ আফা আমি পয়লা আপনাদেরকে আমি সালাম দেই ওনা আমার আফা একটা কথা কইছেন যে বাঙালি হেল্প কইরা থাকোই আমি যখন 25 ছিলাম আমি এখন 52 ইয়ার 25 ছিলাম আমি একটা বিয়া করছিলাম আমার নকলি দস্তখত দিয়া আমার ডিভোর্সি ওয়াইফে উদ্দেশ্য আনানি হইছে 2 বছর 4 মাস থেকে গেছে আফা তাই তো বাঙালি তাই তো সিলেটি দুই রাকাত নামাজ পড়তে দেখছি না বাংলা মাত মাসে না আফা আমার লগে দুইটা কথা মাইছে না আফা আল্লাহর কসম আফা যদি আমি নিতা মাতি আমার রুলস হোক ওই দিনে বাংলা প্রোগ্রাম হলো আমি টেলিভিশনও দেখি আমি এত খুশি হই যে আপনারা বাঙালি মাত্রা আমার বউ এখানে মাত্র না তাই অনেক স্মার্ট বাচ্চা আছে তাই বাচ্চার লগে মাতে না ও তাইও লন্ডনে আমি তাইলে লিগেল কইরা দিচ্ছি তা তো করছি না সহবাস করছি না আফা আসসালামু আলাইকুম আফা
Okay, thank you for your kind words, and Afnebaya, thank you for your encouragement and your support. So we're going to go on a break very shortly. We've got a minute before we go on break. So you were saying about this story. So she started showing you the movement.
The movement, and she said it was dance. And
it was
I was
dance.
like, but I never used the word dance.
Dance. So she is remembering it as dance. So she must be happy with what she's learned.
I think there
she
was an
remembers
underlying,
it.
there was a, we, as I said, Damail dance, if you go to world history, every civilization had dance in it, circle dance. Every civilization has that folk dance, which is circling and singing in the middle and playing instruments and things like that. It's embedded in us. But, it's just shifted because of cultural changes over the years, But yeah, it's still there somewhere. And the talent is immense in our community, especially the women. Obviously, I work more with women, so I can only speak about women. My goodness, the talent in arts and craft and drawings and cooking and sewing and painting and it's just phenomenal. I sometimes find things they discard in community centers. I say, oh, what's that? It's a really nice piece of art, and I pick it up from the bin and I take it home because it's such a beautiful
bit of work.
Yeah, and they just throw it away. It's like there's no value in it. I think that's where we've got to at this moment. There's no value in arts.
Yeah. So I think we have to go on a very short break. Dear viewers, please stay with us. We'll continue our discussions. Oh no, we have 2 minutes still. Apparently, we have 2 minutes. Sorry to cut you off. There we go. So if we're looking at sort of encouraging our women, from your point of view, obviously I asked Safina the same question. How can we encourage amra mohila jara asen tarare kile amra encourage kortam parmu to come out and experience this?
Okay, I think one of the things is engagement. I think it's really important. And secondly, they have to trust me, and what I have to offer, and they have to believe in it as well. I think that's really important. So when AKDC goes and does a series of workshops with women group across the country, we work with a theme. And that theme could be domestic violence, that theme could be mental health, that theme could be childlessness, the poster that you're using with a hijab, that's it's a play. It was actually based on a play, Yarma, which is about a woman who can't have a child and how she's treated by the community, by the society, her own society, like she's not a worthy as a woman because she can't have a child and all of that, and the blame goes on her and things like that. So that was a project I did, and then when I worked on that project, I worked with the women to share their stories if they have, or other stories. I made a film on that as well,
nice.
Digital film. And also I worked on domestic violence. And for that, these women will not come on stage, absolutely, and I respect that. But what I do,
But it's not always about performance or stage. It's about yourself and what you do in your own time.
It's self-expression within that time that we meet. But also, they made some dolls for me, which I used in the show, like puppets, which I taught her. I mean, I did a workshop and then I came and taught it to them. And then they made them for me. I think I got 10,000 made altogether across the country. Different women took part and made them. So they do get involved in that way.
Yeah. So we have to go on a very short break. Dear viewers, we're definitely going on a break now. So please stay with us and we will be back with our discussions very shortly.
Video korsoni.
Dear viewers, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Today on Family Focus, we were discussing the importance of physical activity and how it's really important for your mental health. I have with me two guests here, as you know, Safina and Amina. And not me, Amina, another Amina. So Amina, if we come back to you, could you kind of tell us which style of dance is very beneficial for one's well-being? So I know you're going to say dance in general, but is there one in particular that you would say is
I think
good?
all dances, to be honest, because end of the day, dance is about you are using entire body to do it. So in Kathak, I would say there's an extra benefit, which is what we do is we speak rhythm as well.
Oh.
And so often I work with women when we are doing dance classes where they can't really dance because they're older or whatever, whatever reason. I use a lot of rhythm patterns.
Speaking rhythm.
To speak and to clap and to move with it and things like that. And I find that's really difficult for them because 99.9% of the time they're not able to coordinate. They don't even understand the concept of coordination, and it's like really difficult. But for me, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, what's happening with Kathak dance when I the kind of the workshop task that I designed is that is to work with your body and your mind. So it's not just physically working with the body, but also intellectually working with the mind as well. So you're training your brain as well as your body, and I think. In that sense, I would say Kathak because I'm biased, but it has a lot of like gestures, using gestures with the hands. So if you've got arthritis, things like that, so we use movements of the hands.
Just try
yes, like gestures, like using different kind of hand gestures where it allows you to move different joints and limbs, and so you can articulate those joints and exercise them as well. And also they have meanings as well. So we work with stories about what does it mean, and so we are intellectually also working with them as well as physically.
So would you say that also helps with their memory?
Absolutely, 100%. Because memory, because dance, like I know, because often when the women came to see my performance, how did you remember that 1 hour performance? How do you remember? That?
Yeah.
Of course you have to remember. Just like if you're an actor on stage, you remember your lines. There is a technique. We have. I mean, this is where we have to work to get to the stage where we don't forget. So it's not one day's job. When I put a production on. It's 8 weeks I rehearse for it. Every day, Monday to Friday, 8 weeks.
Wow.
10 to 6. Dancers are on the floor. We're working to create that piece. So it's a lot of repetition. And repetition is what is good for the muscles and things. And that's also what any muscle that if you train them, if you keep repeating them, they remember.
So obviously our brain is a muscle as well. So our brain will remember the rhythm. When you're saying the speaking rhythms, they'll remember that as well.
They remember that. And also the other important thing is that they have to, when you're speaking rhythm, you cannot be in 10 different rhythms. Otherwise it's going to be chaos in the room. They all have to have one rhythm.
So they will have to coordinate.
The coordination. So dance is very much about coordination as well, which is a very important part, and also expression. And when you express, you tap into your emotion.
So Zara, after a dance class, let's say for the first time, because we have viewers today that are hearing about this for the first time. If they come to your event or your session, like what sort of preparation do they need to do?
Khafar is important because first of all, khafar is that comfortable move korte parba, pao fetul niche felaite parba. So comfortable like kichu. Ideally, apnara tracksuit bottom t-shirt ideally. But selar kameez work kore as well. But I mean, encourage kori ki selar kameez judo findante short of finta atu rufre.
Because atu niche full to stuck with isn't it?
Well, stuck like na then am tara line dekhtam parmo ami tara body line because line judo wrong one and it injury to fare. To ami make sure I tara line ta ঠিক থাকে তারা আটুটা ঠিক জায়গাতে আছে আর যে সময় আমরা বেন্ডিং করি আটু আর ফাউল লগে অ্যালাইনমেন্ট আছে একইতা ওকে সো লটস অফ ডিটেইল আছে তারা আমরা শিখাই বাট এন্ড যত আর কি আর নিজের বডিরে বুঝতে পারেন নিজের বডির হিল করতে পারবা ডক্টরও কম যাওয়া যেতে পারবা বিকজ আমরা সামটাইম ইনো বেদনা করে বুঝি না কি তাহলে ডক্টর জায়গায় ফট করি বা যদি বুঝতে পারেন কি তাহলে কি বেদনা করে দেন তারা নিজেটাকে ক্যারেক্ট করতে পারবা এন্ড ডান্স ইজ actually phenomenal in that way that it can teach you about your body. Yeah.
So if we're talking about dance there, amra dance amra culture or maze amra kila promote kortam pari like within our Bengali community. I know some of the basic things we have is like the melas, for instance. What is it from your point of view? How can we physical activities that amra kila Bengali community maze amra aro promote kortam farmo through our events and cultural events?
Well, I give an example of South India. In South India, all women, and I think men as well, but women particularly, they have to learn to dance when they're young, up to a certain age.
Is it part of their curriculum?
It's part of their culture.
Oh, culture.
In South India.
So is it through school or is it through home?
Every school or after school activity, every child, girl child, will have to learn to dance. That's like, and music is
So South India shop for inte
South, yeah.
dance শিখতে হইব
but আমরা বাচ্চাদের স্কুলও শেখানি হয় physical activity as well as dance and things like that but also বড়ই হাল্লে যেটা আমিনা হইছেন গ্যাপ আছে কেউ ডান্স as a career হিসাবে নেরা না but এগুলো সব ছোটবেলা তো সবেও হড্ডা বাচ্চাতে
সবটা আসলে career দরকার না it's more about health
a career I mean career will be brave to better to career because it is not easy to pick as a career and you have to be quite resilient you have to be quite strong and you have to be thick-skinned as well to kind of get
but also like আমরা younger generations that are so নহন তারা বেশিরভাগ এখন gym use
they are using gyms and they are sports activities that are so thank you both so much for coming on our show today unfortunately it is almost time to go so thank you so much and you know we had a great chat about staying active and how our physical health also plays into our mental health and how we can basically promote it within our community and it's amazing to see someone Sileti doing you know dance and promoting dance and you have your own company I'm definitely going to tap into that so a very special thanks to you both so Safina you're working helping the Bangladeshi community and the initiatives that you do thank you so much for that it's really inspiring and I hope someone out there has heard it. I know people have called in today to find out about your services, so hopefully they'll tap into that as well. And Amina, your journey as a dancer and a teacher, it shows to us that, you know what, you're healthy, both body and mind, being healthy in both ways is so important, and it's amazing to see you promoting that as well. The question we asked today were all about how we can get the Bangladeshi community moving more, especially through things like dance. Safina shared some really great ideas about connecting culture and health, and Amina told us about how dance can help not just our bodies but our minds as well. We hope this talk has got you all thinking there. Afnara ze khali physical activities amra just khali dance gele gi je ekta bad jinish that's not true. If people are dancing, they're letting off very, the hormones, happy hormones, and they're making themselves healthy, not just physically, but also mentally. So we should encourage that, and we should encourage especially our women who are at home, maybe our housewives who are stuck at home, to stay healthy and to stay fit. They do need to tap into some of these services that we have. So dear viewer, we greatly appreciate your presence in this episode of Family Focus. We're really excited to announce that we'll be featuring a new topic every week, well, every 2 weeks, in fact. So in our upcoming episodes, we will continue to host discussions with experts on our chosen subject, and we'll provide a platform for individuals to share their personal stories and give us some more knowledge. If you have anything particular that you want us to cover, please do let us know. Write to us or comment on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on our ATN Bangla UK app, and of course you can find us on the Sky channel. So please stay with us, and until next time, where we bring you a new topic and new experts with new knowledge. So please stay with us. Thank you very much.